It's week 4 of the NFL, and we'll be watching the Falcons' veteran linebacker. He put up numbers last week with a 9-tackle performance. It's the Falcons and the Jags. All that and more coming up next on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to one of the great cities of the world, London, England. Coming up, another installment of the NFL International Series, and it should be a great one, as it'll be the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, this the first of our international series this year, the Falcons and Jaguars. The Jags, of course, no stranger to these London games. They're a fixture in these parts due to the presence of their owner, Sean Conn.
Add in the fact that they're going to be the first team ever to go back-to-back here in England. They play the Bills next week, so a very interesting time for this franchise. Not only are they Duval's team, but they're also the UK's team as well.
All set for the first of 5 international games this season. The Falcons and Jags underway from London. This is Jakeem Grant. Jakeem Grant now to return. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. The Falcons ready to go to work here on offense. And at the helm in his second season, Charles, it's Desmond Ridder.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the 1 being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week. Beginning on the ground with Patterson. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. 2nd and 9. Ridder now. And caught by London. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And it's 3rd and 4 now. We take a peek at the list of inactives for this week's game. And gosh, this early in the season, Charles, injuries already accumulating for this squad.
You got to wonder in this organization, they just saying to themselves, well, hopefully we're just getting them out of the way early so we can make a late season push when we have everyone back. It certainly feels that way, the number of injuries they've had already.
Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. Agnew now to return. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Well, the Jaguars ready to go on offense for the first time, and they're led by the former #1 pick of the draft in his 3rd season now, Charles, Trevor Lawrence.
Now, the meeting we had with him this week, that's one of the briefer ones we've ever had, isn't it?
He wasn't too happy after last week.
Not happy. Really determined to play a whole lot better, and he really can't play a whole lot worse. He's got to go out and show the team that the goods that he exhibited early are still there. Otherwise, he could lose the confidence that they have in him.
And hoping to get rid of that interception bug. The numbers on the ground for ETN last week. 9 carries, 57 yards.
And that's just not enough carries for a running back to get loose and really feel like he's into the game, because they have to have enough volume to establish a rhythm, not just for themselves, but also to get in sync with their offensive line so they can read the blocks properly and they can execute them. I expect them to get a minimum of 15 carries in this game, and the optimum number would be 20+.
On 1st down, Lawrence. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. The Jaguars are 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. And they got off to a good start, but then 2 straight losses since.
And now you start to wonder about what this does for a team's morale, how it affects their psyche, because, let's face it, you work all...
Touchdown, Jaguars! Zay Jones, his first touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football. All right, when you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You say, thank you very much for getting us the rock. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Jags grab it. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And while all of that was going on, we have an injured player out there in need of some attention. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Now Lawrence. This will be caught at about the 5. And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. And that's Grady Jarrett who forced his way through to register the sack. The kick by McManus is good. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for it.
You're exactly right about that. And this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
On the return, here's the dangerous Cordero Patterson. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So for the 2nd time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. Ritter back to throw. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Now the first running back taken back in April, the former Longhorn, Bijan Robinson. And a nice job there skipping away from the 1 tackle and ends up getting 5 yards out of that. 2nd down. The numbers in last week's bowl game for Robinson. 20 carries, 82 yards.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
The Rivers throw taken in by London. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
London moved the chain, something he did 48 times as a rookie last season. First receiver taken in the 2022 draft, finished with almost 900 yards in the league's 2nd worst passing offense.
Toward the sideline, intercepted. Down to the 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, this defense is circling early. A pick 6 there, and they are off to the races here in this 1st quarter.
And, partner, when you get off to a 1st quarter lead like this,
It really frees you up defensively to take some chances, really apply some heat. And that was just a tremendous play to pick that ball off and bring it back for a score.
Now McManus for the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So an early advantage now and a good one. 17-0 our scores. They kick this one away. Here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. Here's Ritter after that pick six. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Patterson. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's second down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
3rd and 3. Out of the gun, here's Ritter. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Trayvon Walker in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. 17-0 our score after 1. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. On the return, here's Agnew. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. So here are the Jaguars to take over on offense. They lost 2 straight coming in, but good news for them right now. They've got the lead and the football. Now Etienne to start the drive. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 40 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards.
Hey, Lion.
Now Lawrence to throw. His pass caught at the 4. So no gain on the play, and it's 2nd and goal.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. He'll get this out to the flat for Etienne. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal. Here's Lawrence. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. The 3rd down battle won by Atlanta's defense. Solid coverage. You can already start to hear this crowd. They're saying, go for it.
Yeah, have we ever been at a game where you've heard the crowd go, field goal, field goal?
No, I have not. That's a good point.
Yeah, they always want to go for it, and I think they've got the right idea right now. The way they've moved the ball in this drive, I wouldn't stop that momentum. Go get it.
They had the play call on 4th and goal, but it's dropped in the end zone. And the Falcons able to muster together a goal line stand. Now a
handoff to start it out. Robinson. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. Try to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards. First down. Looking to throw it here. Ritter. And he'll complete this one to Patterson. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so you can only go so far outside. They were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they use your boy over there, the 12th man. Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak.
Ritter throwing on 3rd down.
And this is going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
Taking it about the 36. It's a 47-yard punt, return of 6. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Travis Etienne and the Jags offense set to take over again here.
First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
And I'm sure he said challenge accepted.
Straight ahead, Etienne. Oh, what a move. Oh, that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 74 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Another tote for Etienne.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
And this ball recovered by the offense. But remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble. Lawrence's throw here taken in by Ingram.
And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Lawrence
toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Now Lawrence.
To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
So Lawrence will exit, and on comes Brandon McManus for the Jaguar field goal.
From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by McManus is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So this lead, Charles, just continuing to swell here in the first half.
Well, it's interesting. When we talked to them prior to the game, they told us that their game plan was take no prisoners, and they've lived up to it so far because everything has worked. No guarantee that'll continue, but all in all, this coaching staff's got to be very pleased by what they've seen.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Atlanta regains possession of the football. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left. More than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Now Ritter to throw on first down.
He's got it at the 15. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
And it's caught. Touchdown. Drake London, his 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Falcons get a late score here in the final minute of the first half.
Koo able to connect on the extra point, and that cuts this lead down to 13.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Taken at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Jags going to go on offense now late in this first half. Already enjoying a 2-score lead here late in the second quarter. Not a ton of time left. We'll see if they can work this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 to add on even more to their lead.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Lawrence.
This is caught. It's Kirk.
And he's going to be ridden out of bounds down inside the 25.
A big play there just before halftime. 41 yards.
This offense is looking very comfortable here in this first half. Very relaxed, very smooth, very efficient. No wasted motions. Things are definitely going their way, and they continue to move the ball downfield.
So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10.
Out of the gun, it's Lawrence.
And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
On 2nd down, here's Lawrence.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
The kick by McManus is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everyone, to our brand new studios here in downtown Orlando in the EA Sports Halftime Report. The Jags were treated to a strong first half from their franchise quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He's got a touchdown pass on the ledger as his guys were able to build a double-digit lead. Both teams making their final adjustments. We're closing in on the second half. And for the call, let's get you back over to London, where we rejoin Brandon Gaud.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3.
As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. Oh, good-looking return set up here. Jamal Agnew. He will score. Touchdown. There's a phrase with me before, pressing the kicking game. What exactly does that mean? Because they did it there.
It means focusing on it, all aspects of it, because it's the third part of the game. Offense, defense, special teams. If you press the kicking game, create an advantage, make a big play, it often leads to victory.
McManus now for the extra point. And that PAT pushes the lead up to 23 now. And no doubt one of the most, if not the most exciting play we'll see in this game. The kick return all the way to the end zone for 6 points. So let's try this again. After the kick return, TD, here's yet another kickoff.
This taken in at the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now.
Ritter and the Falcons now with a 1st and 10
at their own 23. On play action, they'll throw. To the right side, and he's got Landry complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. Now look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Okay, ready?
Second down and a run by Robinson.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Here's Ritter.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Jarvis Landry, 31 yards.
And the Falcons are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Now Arthur Smith going to tell the offense to stay put. We're going for 2. Ritter will throw for it.
And he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples throughout a ball game. There's a great example right there.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground, ETN.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
From the gun, it's Lawrence.
A short throw to Ingram. A gain of 8 there on the play. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Lawrence now off the bootleg.
And his throw here's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away, turns into a nice play.
Open man right side is Ingram. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 44-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. And he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On second down, ETN once more.
It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. He completes it to Jones. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
And he is going to have a Jags first down as he pushes forward for a couple on 4th and inches. Here's the rookie from Auburn, Tank Bigsby. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
Throw right side, caught by Ridley. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play, so we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in London. The Jaguars on 3rd down. Lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3.
They'll run with ETN.
And he gets this down to the 18, good enough for a first down.
96 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive.
On first down, right back to ETN.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Now, this has been a good march down the field, but now they're stuck looking at a 2nd and 14.
Now Lawrence.
Caught by Jones. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Lawrence will throw.
Touchdown, Jaguars.
Zay Jones
with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game.
And the Jaguars look like they're about to put an end to their 2-game losing streak as they add on to their lead. I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs, and if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. On the return from his end zone is Grant.
And he's going to be out of bounds. Here's the run back. We'll leave him shy of the 20-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here.
As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive, so we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
Here's 2nd and 3. Back to throw, Ritter. Quick throw there is incomplete.
Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk both in his town and among.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack.
Brought to the ground by the linebacker, Foye Oluokun.
Even keeping the back end for extra protection on 3rd down, they still couldn't prevent the sack. Now it's 4th and long thanks to a terrific individual effort on defense.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, standing just outside his own goal line. He'll look to set up his blockers.
A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field.
And they look to finish strong in this 4th quarter. And this is a unit that certainly has turned things around from a week ago. Just a much more productive all-around ball game. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38.
They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
117 yards now for Etienne, and he's got a 1st down. Etienne on the toss right.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Play 3 of the drive not as successful. They go backwards after those 2 1st down gains.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
On 2nd down, a run with Etienne.
4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
11 yards there for Jacksonville and a 1st down as well.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Running out of the gun with Etienne.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
And they'll go again with Etienne.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Touchdown! Zay Jones.
An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Jags look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
Ritter on 1st and 10. Short throw caught by Pitts.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Ready.
Working from the gun, Ritter.
Looking middle, and that's complete. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
Sticking with the passing game. Here's Ritter again. That's going to be caught by Pitts.
And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The Falcon passing game looking good on this drive as they get the 1st down.
Ritter to throw it.
He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Jacksonville, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they'll drop down to 1-3, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.